Thank you to Anona for sponsoring a portion of this video. So welcome everyone to Ditch and Glitch. I am your host, John Rettinger, and this is the show that reveals the biggest blunders in the tech world for 2024. I'm gonna show you the top flops this year and explain exactly what went so wrong. So the rules of the game are simple. I'm going to give you a description of a gadget, and it's your job to correctly guess before time runs out. I have 10 products on the board. You can play along in the comments down below. No cheating, no Googling, no chat GPTing. Let's see how well you know your tech, and I'll start out easy. All right, so the first product was released back in February. It was set to be like the product of 2024. It was packed with the best cutting edge technology and elegant design. It was set to deliver a magical experience unlike anything we'd ever seen, bringing you to the movies or onto the field and connect you with friends and family like you were in the same room, even if you were 1,000 miles apart. And it took nearly a decade and over $100 billion to bring it to the market. And it kind of flopped. If you haven't guessed it yet, it is Apple Vision Pro. Okay, so why is it on this list? By all available metrics, the thing is a flop, at least by just number of sales that have happened. It's not selling as well as I think Apple expected. They are scaling back production. Even rumors production has ended. It came in at a way too expensive price point. The biggest one I think that hurt it was lack of a compelling app or content. There wasn't a killer reason to get it. Not to mention having to be tethered to a battery could be a bit annoying. It wasn't the most comfortable either for extended periods of time, and for people like me, ended up with real big acne right on my face where it's at. This next product might go down as one of the most hyped products of all time, but also had one of the most spectacular failures ever. So it was built by a team of ex-Apple employees. The company raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and it aimed to be the smartphone killer by giving you a portable display on the palm of your hand. This is the Humane AI Pin, one of the biggest tech flops of 2024. All right, so why is it on the list? Now, the company and the product has been shrouded in secrecy for years, and I think a lot of people believe that they were making a true smartphone killer with cutting edge technology. But hardware costs, monthly subscription, cumbersome navigation, I think ultimately led to its downfall. Most of what it was trying to do ultimately ended up being easier on a phone. Clipping this projector to your clothes was awkward. The answers that you got weren't quite what it should have been. It had a lot of potential, just didn't deliver on that potential. An honorable mention in this category too is the Rabbit R1. So while there was plenty of technology came out this year that maybe didn't meet the best standards, there was some that came out that was absolutely amazing, like this video sponsor, the Anona Aurora 4K security camera. When looking for a good security camera, there's a lot to look for, and you want to make sure the one you're getting hits certain check marks, things that I should have looked at before. You want a camera that's got good video. 4K, UHD, I think are really important for zooming in. If something ever happens and you have to capture somebody's face, the higher the resolution, the better. Being able to have a really good zoom is important. In this case, I have an 8x zoom, so I can get in really close to see details. Color night vision is something that's becoming more and more popular. The nighttime is the most likely that you would need a security camera to be active. So being able to actually capture sort of color in a clear picture of the person, the animal, whatever you were trying to capture, I think just adds to the reliability, kind of the peace of mind that you get. And with that night vision, you're getting an f1.2 aperture for really improved night recordings. And also you want to be able to see as wide as possible. So you got 136 degree field of view, lets you capture the area completely. And a big one, you want it to always be recording. You don't want it to suddenly start recording when something happens because potential to miss something. This has 24/7 continuous recording, and you're also going to want good battery life. A lot of times outdoor cameras, you can't put somewhere where they can be powered or plugged in. This comes with a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, which is good for up to 180 days of power. But if you want more, there's a solar power option as well, as you plug in a little solar panel and it'll keep it powered kind of forever. You also want to be able to store all of that footage. It's got local storage. 32 gigabytes of eMMC provides up to 6 months of footage. But also, maybe if something happens and you want to talk to somebody in your backyard or tell people to leave, You're gonna want two-way audio. That's here as well. And maybe you wanna flash a light or a siren to, again, let people know to leave. You've got a spotlight and siren features here as well. And when it's outside, you don't want it to get ruined in the rain. IP67 rating. I don't have to pay a monthly fee or buy extra SD cards. I don't want any of that. And I also want support for smart home things. So I've got Google Assistant Alexa support here. I don't need any wire or hubs. If you're wondering the price of this thing, for all those check marks, and with the exclusive code, the lowest price for the camera set is only 99 bucks. You're getting really good value, not only checking off everything you would need for a camera. If you want to learn more information you need, it'll be down below. All right, so this next item isn't so much a product, but a destination, a place touted earlier this year and really years prior as being the real future of the internet. It attracted the attention of mainstream media, companies believed to be the next big thing, and people even moved themselves there digitally. In fact, I actually bought digital land there. It was set to take the world by storm, but most don't remember it at all. Reintroduce yourself to the metaverse. All right, so why is it on this list? Meta in particular touted this as a new home for online interaction. The idea was you could sort of live a life in the metaverse. You could like work there, play there, game there, talk to people, but ultimately there were too many limitations, most notably the hardware that was required. And the rise of AR gave people kind of the benefits of the virtual world while still living in the real world. Now the future may still be a metaverse specific place, but for right now, we're just not living there. This product is the newest to release on this list. It's already gaining some controversy. So, while its unique design and power I think are appreciated, gamers have largely been unimpressed with its lack of extras, missing things like a disk drive, a $700 price point, and if you haven't guessed it yet, the PS5 Pro is not really living too much up to the Pro name. So why is it on the list? No disk drive, no edge controller, vertical stand. It does pack more power and support for 8K, but it's hard to justify the upgrade from any other PS5 model. The difference in game quality, at least right now, is marginally better. And especially when you consider how amazing and sort of quickly flew off the shelves the 30th anniversary limited edition was, I would much rather have that than the PS5 Pro. But I don't think the book on the PS5 Pro is fully written yet, but at least at launch, it does not appear to be a success that Sony had hoped for. All right, so let's talk about another new tech release that hasn't quite lived up to the hype. And this product is being advertised as Apple's biggest feature of the year. It was a huge part of WWDC, a big part of the iPhone keynote, even took over the Cube at Apple's flagship store on 5th Avenue, New York City. So as to be super smart. One of the main features of the entire iPhone 16 lineup, this one seemed obvious, Apple Intelligence. So Apple is heavily advertising features that are not out yet. No new Siri, despite the animation being there. It's a bit of a false advertising right now. Apple's marketing features that don't exist on production devices as this filming. Some features are out on beta, some are not yet here. But advertising things that don't exist on a phone doesn't feel great to me. Apple Intelligence may ultimately live up to the hype, but right now at the end of 2024, definitely does not rank as a success. All right, so next up, and this is more of a personal one, this family of products holds a close place to my heart, but does not come from a place of love. It comes from heartache and frustration. It's supposed to be sort of the pinnacle of smart home technology. And these products for me have been anything but plug and play and gets a rare but stern do not buy from me. In fact, these products are so problematic, company behind them appears to be dumping them all together, and that is the Logitech Circle family of cameras. And if you're wondering why that's on that list, I have one of them outside, and on all my cameras that show up, the one that says no response, guess which one that one is? And it pretty much always says no response. Sometimes it'll connect. It is unreliable, and that's really the big reason why it's on this list. Logitech makes a range of HomeKit cameras. They got the Circle Cam and Doorbell, and every single one is plagued by constant disconnects and horrible reliability. I cannot count on this camera. I should have never bought this camera. I should listen to the reviews. Do not be a John. Do not buy anything Logitech Circle. So this app received the worst update of 2024 and caused so much controversy, the company had to come out and apologize on multiple occasions for it. The update removed features, redesigned everything, and months later, things are still not fixed. The worst app of 2024, no surprise, goes to Sonos. So they released a major overhaul to their app earlier this year, and users universally hated it. It removed functionality and long-standing features, brought stability issues, and Sonos was very slow to respond and apologize, and really offered no way to kind of roll back. A lot of people argue it did serious damage to kind of the once loved Sonos brand. The product here is actually good and one of my favorite products of the year, but the ad made to portray it was not. This was the most controversial tech ad of 2024. It had incredible production quality, a creative idea, but its depiction of destruction was, let's say, not loved by the public. And the company behind it saw so much backlash, they actually pulled the ad from airing. This is, of course, the crushed ad from Apple. So this was shown at the iPad Pro event. It was meant to show all the different tools crushed down into a thin, lightweight, powerful body of the new M4 iPad Pro, and I got the point. Instead, a lot of people saw it as careless destruction, uncomfortable, kind of with the image of crushed emoji heads. Apple was forced to respond to the backlash, and a rare move from them actually pulled the ad from the air. All right, so the most expensive product that you can purchase on this list that quickly became one of the most, I don't want to say useless, but potentially bricky products, plagued by software issues, PR battles, and so much more. How about the piece of tech you can drive? How about Fisker Ocean? This one is probably not a huge surprise, but this is one of the bigger automotive fails in recent years. So as a company, the rebirth of Fisker from Henrik Fisker, the man behind the Fisker Karma, has a long history of designing beautiful cars and a long history of not making sustainable businesses. It was a decent car. It was a good looking car, plagued with management issues and software issues that ultimately ended in the company's demise. And this tech fail was so bad, it literally broke the internet and had really real world consequences. Broke airline systems, banks, hotels, company systems, showed the world how a little blip could cause huge issues. So a major tech failure this year was the CrowdStrike kernel update mishap. I say mishap, in quotes. It's a huge deal. Caused millions of devices worldwide to crash. The issue affected critical sectors as Microsoft Azure experienced an unrelated outage around the same time, kind of magnifying the disruption for businesses relying on these platforms. This may ultimately end up being one of the most consequential on this list. There are lawsuits around this now. It's definitely got some companies thinking about alternatives to Microsoft's system and kind of showed our reliance on kind of other software. It was kind of a fun take on some of the tech that came out. There was a company and a founder and employees that believed in that product. And maybe it ultimately ended up coming to market wasn't their vision. And I don't want to make light of the work that went into these products. But the product that we ultimately got into our hands, or the service or the ad, whatever it might have been, was not what was intended. But in the response to it was not, I imagine, what people wanted it to be. So despite all the amazing products that came out in 2024, there were some that sunk to the bottom. Dun, 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 dun.